We're continuing our study of the book of Hebrews, this letter in the New Testament that is in the form of a Jewish sermon. It's written to Jewish believers in the 60s. It's written to people who are headed into a crisis. And chapter 1, quick summary, Jesus is better than the prophets. Chapter 2, Jesus is better than the angels. Chapter 3, Jesus is better than Moses, who is the preeminent Jewish figure. He's the one that leads the Jews out of captivity. He gives them the Pentateuch, the law, first 5 books of the Bible. He's the one that mediates the Sinai covenant, the Mosaic covenant, the deal with God. And the comparison we're getting in Hebrews chapter 3, and it talks at some length about the law. The comparison we're getting is not ultimately between Jesus and Moses. It's really even more about the contrast between law and grace. And so it's saying that grace, the gospel, is better than the law. So the gospel is the incredible, scandalous, shocking news that we are saved on the basis of the work of Jesus, that we don't deserve it. We're not rescued because we're better than anyone else. We're not. We're rescued because of God's profound love. We are saved by grace through faith, not of ourselves. It's a gift of God, not as a result of works. We can't boast. We don't play a part in this. It's an alien righteousness that is transferred from Christ to our account. It's imputed to us. Now, it's not that works don't matter. First of all, we're saved by the works of Christ, but also works confirm the faith. So it's not that faith plus works equals salvation, but faith equals salvation plus works. We should be all about Christ and his kingdom and his ethic and his call to serve and to love and to promote justice and to care for the poor and the oppressed. Right? Works matter, but we're not saved on the basis of our merit or our works. So that's the point that gets made in Hebrews chapter 3. It's a contrast, but Jesus is greater than Moses. It's saying the gospel is better than the law. And this, by the way, is a message that gets made once you start to look for it in a lot of great novels, like Les Miserables. The contrast is between the priest and Javert. So Jean Valjean is the protagonist. He steals a loaf of bread to keep his sister's infant alive. He goes to prison. He's there because he tries to break out. He's there for years and years and years. When he gets out, Javert, the law says, I'm going to watch you. I'm going to bust you. You're a bad person. You're a thief. You'll never be anything but a thief. And when he's out, after a few weeks, he cannot find work because he's an ex-con. And so one night he's taken in by a priest, and in the middle of the night, he tries to steal from the priest, steal the silverware from the priest's house. He's caught trying to get away, caught by the police. They bring him back to the priest, and the priest says, Javert, I'm very disappointed, Jean Valjean, I'm very disappointed in you. You took the silverware, but you left the candelabra, and it's worth a lot of money. I gave you all of this. So it's just I'm giving you things that you don't deserve, right? I'm rescuing you. And he says, I'm buying your soul for God. It's a gracious act, yes. And Javert continues to pursue him, and so there's lots of side stories, but the law cannot comprehend grace. And Javert will ultimately end his life when he needs grace. He can't accept it. We see the same thing like in Crime and Punishment. Raskolnikov is the protagonist. He kills a couple people. And Petrovich, the detective, is after him. He knows that he's done it. He just can't prove it. And ultimately, he can't prove it. He's the guy that Columbo gets modeled after, but he cannot get his man. But there's a young woman, Sonia, who actually is the Christ figure. She's prostituting herself to try and keep her younger siblings alive. She's the Christ figure. And she loves Raskolnikov. And because of her love, he will repent. He will confess his sin. He gets sent to Siberia. She'll go there, and she almost dies to keep him alive. And so you're seeing the contrast, the limits of the law. The law can tell us that we're bad. It can't help us. It can tell us that we're broken. It can't save us. Moses and the Old Covenant, that's the contrast here. Moses is of incredible value. It's good to know we're broken. It's good to have a standard that's objective. There's value to the law. It reflects the way the world works, but the law is limited. And the law is not the gospel. Jesus is greater than Moses. Focus on Jesus. Be amazed and changed by the love of God for you. Have a good day.